the scorching sun, where the hunter and the hunted are only a breath apart, venom becomes the last weapon and shield. Do snakes really rule grasslands? Tanzania. The fierce battle for survival of the most venomous snake. Under the pale morning sun, the savanna ground cracks into zigzag lines like ancient scars. Each rough patch of dry land reflects the pale yellow of dawn, where all creatures are gradually awakening. In a small crack, a slender silhouette is moving slowly. The Cobra, the next generation of the one who fell under the hands of the mongoose. It slithers silently, its small body following the veins of the ground. Its scales shine with a young bronze color, slender but full of life. The heat rising from the ground makes the air tremble like a distorted mirror, reflecting the weak breathing of the fledgling creature learning to survive. In front of it, the yellow grass swayed gently in the wind. Small insects moved in the dry leaves. Small sounds that to the snake meant a whole world of life moving. It stopped, lifted its head, its thin, forked tongue vibrated in the air, the most primitive compass that nature had given it. There was no mother to teach it how to hunt, nor a pack to protect it. Every breath, every movement was a lesson. In its small black eyes, reflecting the weak light of the sun, there was an ancient instinct, an instinct that told it when to move, when to wait. Noon. The sun hung high, gilding the Tanzanian savanna like a hot mirror. On the cracked ground, the young cobra continued its journey. Each movement was a slender curve, blending into the dazzling streaks of sunlight. In the distance, a dry golden meadow, where the shadows of two lionesses stretched out, motionless in the heat. They waited, their tails occasionally tapping the ground to chase away the persistent flies. From that distance, the snake sensed the strange scent and the heavy breath of the leader of the predatory chain. In the world of instinct, all creatures know fear. Fear is the first language that nature teaches all. The snake cub stopped. Its forked tongue trembled slightly, as if asking. The whole space fell silent. A wind blew, pushing its scent towards the lion pride. One of the lionesses raised its head. Its pale yellow eyes flashed, squinting in the sun. It stood up, advancing slowly and surely. The grass was dry under its heavy claws. The snake cub did not retreat. Its neck began to open, its hat, as thin as a fan, catching the dry, hot wind. The two creatures stood facing each other. The lion walked slowly, each step firmly, its claws lightly scratching the ground. In a flash, a stream of venom sprayed straight into the air. The lion paused. Its gaze wavered between vigilance and confusion. In that moment, the ruler and the hunted felt the same fear. They turned and left, leaving a trail of yellow dust floating in the hot air. It was not victory. It was a survival reflex, pure, instinctive, and honest. As the sun moved westward, the small snake's shadow shrank, blending into the dry grass and red soil. The savanna returned to silence, as if the encounter had never happened. Only a light breeze blew, carrying the scent of vigilance, the scent that taught all creatures here to survive. The last rays of the day slanted through the tall grasses, illuminating the snake's body as it moved slowly in the cooled grassland. The ground was still warm, retaining the heat of the blazing day. A light wind blew, carrying a damp scent from afar, a sign of the season's first rains. After the fierce encounter with the lion, the young cobra sought out a clearing in the forest, where the soft earth and the shade of the trees crisscrossed like a net. There, in the dry leaves, The scent of a creature of its own kind permeated the air, a scent that only its own kind could perceive. The male snake paused. Its forked tongue vibrated repeatedly, catching every scent molecule floating in the wind. The female snake, its body undulated slowly, the shadow of its scales reflecting the sunset in a soft halo. The distance between them gradually narrowed. There was no sound. No attack. Their bodies intertwined, the coils soft and tight, like a dance without an audience, with only instinct as the background music. All creatures are programmed to prolong life. No emotion, no thought, just timing and opportunity. And nature, like a great conductor, controls all those movements with the pulse of the earth itself. Further west, where the winds are dry, another movement takes place, fast, urgent, with a completely opposite rhythm. There is no moisture, no smell of earth, only the stirring of the air. A long, thin shadow. The black mamba snake is cutting through the grass. It moves like a breeze, silently but energetically, able to lift half of its body more than a meter high without losing balance. The rainy season is also the time when mambas find each other. But their ritual is not a fusion, but a test of strength. Before mating, two males will fight, not to kill, but to prove who is worthy of passing on life. Among the dry trees, a female mamba appears. Its body is thin, shiny. Its eyes are as black as a deep abyss. The male approaches, not tightly wrapped, not soft like a cobra, but moves in parallel, rhythmically, the two bodies like two streams. Against the dark purple sky, the black mamba disappears among the dry branches. Elsewhere, underground, the female cobra still lies guarding the nest. Two worlds, singing the symphony of life, connected in silence. The savanna wakes up after a quiet night. After mating, the black mamba returns to its own journey of survival. It is looking for food. High above, the vultures begin to circle in the air. The snake slithered quickly, its entire body moving forward without making a sound. In front, in a clump of short grass, a field mouse was digging a burrow. In the middle of the Tanzanian savanna, under the dry short grass, a small creature was diligently scratching the ground. The African field mouse, a seemingly insignificant rodent, is one of the vital links in the savanna ecosystem. It weighs less than 30 grams. Its body is only longer than a human hand, but its speed and survival instinct have been honed through millions of years of evolution. Field mice are nocturnal creatures, living on dry seeds, grass roots, and small insects. When the dry season lasts, shallow earthen burrows are the only fortress that helps them avoid the scorching heat of the sun and the eyes of predators. They have extremely sensitive hearing, able to hear the clatter of a snake's foot or the soft landing of a bird of prey from more than 20 meters away. Every small sound, a falling leaf, a sliding grain of sand, is a signal. And in their world, a delay of just one heartbeat can mean death. Small as they are, the field mouse is the lifeblood of the savanna. Dozens of species, from owls to hawks to snakes to African wildcats, depend on it. A small, steady scratching sound, a sound the black mamba never misses. It pauses. The mouse still doesn't know it's being watched. The black mamba lowers its body, curling its hindquarters slightly, ready to pounce. A moment of silence before the storm. Then it's gone. The stab is precise, injecting a lethal dose of neurotoxin, a cocktail of neurotoxins that paralyzes the nervous system in seconds. Once the prey is completely immobilized, the black mamba devours it. In nature, there are no cruel or benevolent creatures. Only creatures perfect in the roles life has assigned them. And in that silence, the black mamba continued to disappear like a wind carrying the breath of darkness. While on the ground, the snake was the hunter. Up above, another pair of eyes was watching both worlds. In the sky above Tanzania, as the sun began to rise, a shadow slid across the grasslands. Not clouds, but wings weighing more than 4 kilograms, fully extended, silently cutting through the hot air. The African snake eagle. Its golden brown eyes observed the ground from a height of more than 100 meters, where the slightest movements were as clear as in the mirror of nature. It did not hunt in the dark, nor did it wait in ambush. It hunted by light. Because when the sun was at its highest, cold-blooded creatures were forced to crawl out of the shade to absorb heat, and that was when the ruler of the sky struck. The snake eagle had 8 times the vision of a human. From afar, it can recognize the gliding shape of a snake moving among the dry grass. When the target is revealed from the grass, the eagle will aim precisely to swoop down to catch its prey. Thanks to its large and strong legs, covered by thick scales like armor, it is a sophisticated evolution, helping it resist counterattacks from venomous predators such as cobras or black mambas. The predators have stomachs containing acid 3 times stronger than humans, which will dissolve the hard scales. But the power of the snake eagle is not only in its lightning dives. It is a solitary species, only meeting its mate during the breeding season, which usually begins at the end of the dry season. The pair bond in silence, building a nest on the top of the tallest tree. A fortress of dry branches and green leaves, lined with feathers and snakeskin. Of which, the female lays only 1 egg. A strict decision of nature, because in this predatory lair, only 1 survivor is enough to maintain balance. The mother will protect it with all her instincts, while the male continues to hunt to feed the young. In this way, for 3 months, the young creature grows. As the dry season gradually retreats, high above, the serpent eagle spreads its wings, circling in the warm air, its golden eyes scanning the steppe glowing in the sunset. Below ground, the dry cracks of the old season are gradually filled with newly sprouted grass. A new cycle begins. The baby snake has left the nest. The black mamba continues its lonely journey. And in the nest high up, the baby eagle has just learned to spread its first wings. Every creature, small or mighty, has a place assigned by nature, a role in the endless symphony of life. In the land of Tanzania, where every grain of dust carries the memory of sun and blood, nature continues to write its ancient story of fear, courage, instinct, and rebirth. As the sun sets over the grasslands of Tanzania, it returns to its familiar rhythm. In the warm yellow grass, baby cobras hide deep in the moist hollows, black mambas continue to slither silently, and high above, African snake eagles circle in the red sunset, searching for the slightest movement in the savanna. Each species, whether on the ground, in the grass, or in the sky, occupies a place predestined by nature, the perfect link in the circle of survival. Here, the strong are not only the hunters, but also the ones who know how to be silent, know how to wait, and know when to stop. If you find this story interesting, please leave your comments below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel so that wild stories from Africa continue to spread.
The sound of hooves tearing through the tall grass. A shadow darts out from the bushes. Overhead, the wings of a blackbird swirl. Behind, a hoarse laugh echoes in the sun. Buffaloes run. Lions chase. Hyenas stalk. Vultures wait. The Serengeti has no strong people, only those who get there first, eat first, and survive first. The fierce battle for survival on the Serengeti. The Serengeti, one of the most intact wild ecosystems left on Earth. This place is a stage of more than 30,000 kilometers, staged by time and climate, where each species plays an irreplaceable role in the symphony of survival. Here, species do not just live, they operate a biological chain that is so sophisticated it is cruel. The buffalo, a large herbivore, is resilient and united. The lion, the strategic predator, controls the top of the food chain through strength and organization. The hyena, both a scavenger and a skilled hunter, does not hesitate to try its hand at any weakling. The vulture, a creature of the sky, recycles matter back into the earth. All coexist in a closed life cycle, where the death of one is the life of another. There is no waste. There is no chance. There is only adaptation or disappearance. And their journey, as every day, begins with a stretch of the leg and ends with a last breath. In the Serengeti plains, stretching like a sea of grass, the African buffalo stands as a primitive being, heavy, silent, but powerful. This is the most massive ungulate among African herbivores. Adult males can weigh up to 900 kilograms, stand about 1.6 meters tall at the shoulder, and have a body as solid as a mobile rock. Their most prominent feature is their characteristic curved horns, which are not only for defense but also a symbol of status. The base of the horns is connected to form a bone called a forehead cap, which is thick, solid, and extremely durable, helping to absorb impact during fights. The thick, dark grey skin acts as a natural armor, helping to resist bites, scratches, and somewhat insulates in harsh climates. Unlike predators, wild buffalo live on perseverance. But it is that perseverance that has tempered an animal that is not easily subdued. The buffalo's eyes are always moving, its ears are erect, and its nose vibrates slightly to sniff the wind, a living warning system that is always ready to react. They live in large herds, sometimes up to hundreds of individuals. Each herd is like an independent community, bound by collective memory and mobility. There is no single leader, but each member plays a role in protecting, warning, and guiding the herd. Mother buffaloes often surround their young in the center, forming a mobile protective belt. Meanwhile, older males, often leaving the main herd, gather in separate groups, quiet but full of potential strength. As herbivores, the buffalo's menu seems monotonous, but is extremely efficient. They digest with a four-chambered stomach, a complex structure that allows them to ferment old grass, dry stems, and even young roots. This slow digestion not only helps them make the most of nutrient-poor food sources, but also contributes to controlling the vegetation structure, indirectly shaping the ecosystems where they are present. rainy season not only brings young grass, but also opens the mating season. As hormones surge, male buffaloes enter fierce confrontations. The horns clash with a thunderous sound that can be heard from afar. It is not just a fight, it is a genetic selection ritual where strength, endurance and strategy are tested. The winner does not take the other's life, but the right to pass on the breed. After mating, the female buffaloes are pregnant for about 340 days. When giving birth, they usually separate from the herd, choosing a secluded area to ensure safety. The calf, just minutes after birth, must learn to stand and walk, a vital task in the wild grasslands. Every minute of delay can make it a target for leopards, hyenas or lions lurking around the herd. Although adult buffaloes are creatures of great strength and defense, they are often the target of apex predators such as lions. Attacking an individual buffalo is never easy. It requires coordination, speed, and even luck. When attacked, buffaloes can turn around, swing their horns, and even join forces with the herd to rescue their fellows. Many times, buffaloes have forced entire prides of lions to retreat in surprise counterattacks. The buffalo are the enduring engines of the Serengeti. They are not flashy, not fast, not dangerous. But their quiet, patient existence sustains millions of other creatures, from weeds to apex predators. In this ecosystem, buffalo are not just prey, they are the foundation. And though a buffalo's life cycle may end in the jaws of a lion, its presence continues in every blade of grass that grows from its flesh and blood, nurturing the next generations, both of the herd and of the predator. The sunset stretches across the Serengeti grasslands. The ground is a burnt bronze, and the buffalo, as usual, moves silently toward the water. But something is waiting in the grass. An old buffalo, hunched and slow, falls behind the herd. The wind changes direction. In the knee-high grass, a group of lions crouched in wait, eyes unblinking, ears pressed close, every muscle tensed like a bowstring before releasing an arrow. And then the chosen moment arrived. The chase began. The buffalo collapsed. Blood soaked into the roots of the grass. A cycle of life closed, opening a feast for those at the top of the food chain. The feast that had just begun was not the end, but the moment when the lion, the ruler of the grassland, asserted its position on the survival rankings. Before the blood had even dried on their whiskers, they were already living embodiments of strength, strategy, and superior instinct. On the vast Serengeti savanna, where the green grass stretched to the horizon and every wind carried the scent of life and death, no other animal had the same clear presence of power as the lion. They are not only apex predators, but also vivid symbols of harsh selection, of a sustainable ecological order that has existed for millions of years. Lions are the only big cats that live in stable prides. They are complex, organized societies with clearly defined roles. Females are responsible for hunting and caring for young, while males protect territory, compete for mating rights, and maintain dominant bloodlines. A pride of lions can consist of 3 to more than 12 females, along with 1 to 3 adult males who hold reproductive rights. With an average weight of 180 to 250 kilos, male lions have a muscular physique and a characteristic thick mane, which is not only a shield against attacks, but also a visual symbol of strength and biological maturity. The darker the mane, the more favored the male is by the females, as it is a sign of good health and high defensibility. In contrast, the female lion is smaller, with a flexible and compact body, an optimal design for effective hunting and long-term cub rearing. The lion's hunting instinct is a blend of tactics and patience. Unlike the leopard that hunts alone or the hyena that often uses numbers to overwhelm, the female lion coordinates like a special task force. They approach silently, taking advantage of the headwind to hide their scent, then suddenly pounce when the prey is separated from the herd. The attacks only last a few seconds, but in that short period of time, life and death are determined. The lion's menu is very diverse: antelope, zebra, buffalo, sometimes even baby elephants if the herd has enough strength and the right opportunity. After taking down the prey, they usually eat according to a secret order. The male will fight for the head, the female will choose the nutritious organs first, leaving the meat and skin for the cubs. Each adult individual can eat up to 30 to 35 kilos of meat in just one meal. Mating in lions can occur all year round. When a female is in heat, a pair may mate up to 50 times a day for several days in a row. This increases the chance of conception, as ovulation only occurs after a few successful copulations. After about 110 days of pregnancy, the female will find a quiet place, usually a bush or a cave, to give birth to 1 to 4 cubs. The cubs are born blind, completely dependent on their mother, and are usually not introduced to the pride until they are strong enough, around 6 to 8 weeks old. But the lion's childhood is not peaceful. The mortality rate for lion cubs is very high, with half not surviving the first year. Enemies can come from everywhere: hyenas, leopards, pythons, even other adult males, especially when there is a power struggle within the pride. New males often kill all of their predecessors' cubs to force the female back into heat. Despite their position at the top of the food chain, lions are not immune to challenge. Prides are frequently invaded by rogue males who are bold and powerful, looking to displace the current leader. Fights between males can sometimes last for days, leaving deep wounds and major consequences for the pride structure. In addition, natural enemies include disease, hunger when prey is scarce, and even collisions with humans. In the fringes of the forest, where humans and wild animals are forced to share resources, conflicts often occur. And yet, their heavy footsteps still leave a deep imprint on the ground, like the mark of a throneless dynasty. Each roar echoing in the Serengeti night is not just an affirmation of territory, but a message of life. We are still here, standing on top, in a world that is always challenging, always changing, and constantly selecting those who are worthy to survive. And it is in this harsh world that the lion cubs begin their first lesson. A small prey is brought back, still breathing. The whole pack rushes in, their baby teeth digging into the soft flesh, their young claws fighting for every piece of skin. Finally, one wins. It drags the prey to a corner of the bush, tearing it into pieces as it has done all its life. Minutes later, life was silenced. The prey had become a bloody toy. The cubs rolled around, giggling in the stench, learning to kill and understanding that they were born to stand above the fear of others. After a few hours, when the blood feasts were over, the lions, their fur stained with dried blood, slowly retreated into the shade to rest. On the ground, only a ragged carcass remained. Most of the flesh had been stripped away, the organs gone, the ribs protruding like the skeleton of a sunken ship. But in the Serengeti, that was not the end, just a space for those who came after. The smell of blood, the sound of flies, and the residue of life began to call to the two species with the strangest roles in the wild cycle, vultures and hyenas. They did not hunt like lions. They did not need to shed blood to survive. But they were also an essential part, the cleaners of this land. In the sky above the Serengeti, the black swirls began to descend. The vultures had smelled blood from miles away. The scent of death and the scent of their role as gatekeepers of decomposition. With their extremely sharp eyes, hooked beaks, and long featherless necks that easily penetrated the corpses, vultures do not need to hunt. They were born to eat the remains, the scraps of flesh left over from the dominant species' meals. Their digestive systems are capable of processing bacteria and pathogens that no other species can tolerate. In the Serengeti, there are many species of vultures, from the great white-backed vulture to the bald vulture, each with its own job in cleaning the corpses. On the ground, the sound of flapping wings has begun to sound, signaling the upcoming fight. From the bushes, spotted hyenas appeared, hunched, their yellow eyes cold. They did not fly, did not need to wait for blood to dry, they just needed the opportunity. Although master scavengers, hyenas were also real predators, organized, strategic, and especially fearless. Possessing the strongest jaws among African carnivores, hyenas could crush the bones of buffalo or young elephants in a few bites. Their stomachs were designed to digest skin, fur, nails, and tendons. They hunted in organized packs, using calls and role-playing behavior, and could chase their prey for kilometers without stopping. At this point, the lion had retreated. The remains of the carcass were the remains of flesh and bones, and a foul, fishy smell rose in the afternoon sunlight. The sky and the ground began to move. The vultures landed first, one by one, hunched, their necks constantly turned. They pounced on the buffalo carcass, pecking, tearing and tearing. The sound of beaks tapping on dry bones sounded like the sound of broken wood. But before long, a familiar sound rang out from behind the bushes, a shrill, terrifying laughter that spread like an alarm. The hyenas were coming. The whole pack pounced fast and ruthless. A shake of the head, a roar, and the vultures were knocked down, their tails bitten, their iron teeth thrown away. The melee broke out not over territory, but over every last scrap of flesh. Beneath their feet were corpses. Above their heads were birds flying wildly. And in between, a fierce struggle between two species born to eat the rest. In their world, there was no glory, no kindness, only timing. Whoever arrived first, whoever dared to take the risk, would have their share. And then all the sounds gradually died down. The sun tilted to the west. The light dyed the edges of the dry grass red, shining on the dark brown bloodstains on the ground. The carcass of the prey disappears, bit by bit, into the stomach of the hunter, into the teeth of the scavenger, and then into the ground, where the young roots of the grass are silently growing. Each bite, each flap of wings, each distant roar is not the end, but the signal for a new cycle. Tomorrow, the buffalo herd will move silently across the savannah. The old eyes of the lions will watch from afar, and in the sky, the black spirals of vultures will appear again, like clocks measuring the rhythm of life and death. The Serengeti does not rest. It does not close. It only continues like life itself, resilient, cruel, beautiful, and endless.